Do you ever have one of those days where maybe your energy is just lagging a little bit? So maybe it's because you're feeling under the weather, or maybe it's just been a really long day. Well, what if there was a really quick, easy way to turn things around? Today, we're going to share with you 3 easy mindset hacks that do just that. They'll help you raise your energy, raise the vibe, shift your attitude, so you feel better, mind, body, and spirit. I'm Mindy Odland, the author of the book What If It All Goes Right, and the founder of the What If Up Club, and it is What If Wednesday. My guest today is a very dear friend and someone who is an expert at turning things around. So here with me is Lisa Winston. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for being here.
Morning, beautiful Mandy.
Great to see you. So Lisa is the author of this fabulous book, Your Turning Point. You know how to turn things around. You are a high vibe coach as well as an author. And today we're going to share some of the things that you've learned on your journey. And your journey has been extraordinary. So let's start there. Why is this topic something that you're so passionate about? Being able to turn that energy
Oh
around.
my gosh. Well, because we all have life challenges, traumas, things happen, even just daily small things that upset our energy. And, what you focus on grows. And so I found that I was a person that grew up on the wrong side of the bed or was born on the wrong side, the negative side of the bed. And when you stay in that space, you really attract those kind of things, and your life is pretty dark.
Yeah.
So we don't want that. And we have control of that.
And we have control of that. So, what was your turning point? Or I know there's like we have turning points every day, but
Oh,
like when you look back on your life, like, okay, this is the moment where things really turned around for me.
well, I'd have to say I was in a toxic 15-year relationship after I had divorced my ex-husband, my daughter's dad. And I was feeling like I was dying because it was so toxic. I didn't feel like there was any way out. I was raising a daughter and trying to co-parent with a narcissist, which doesn't work.
Yeah.
Um, and then we ended up losing our house to wildfire. 2 months later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer while I'm rebuilding and everything else. So my life kind of hit rock bottom. And previous to the fire, I had started exploring spirituality because I felt so lost, and I was just praying for help. And so I started doing Qigong. And I don't even know how I found it, but I started doing that, and it changed my life around. It changed my energy, it changed my health. And then I started getting intuitive downloads to be able to start making better decisions to move me in the way I was supposed to be going. So literally, it can take one decision to change your life around.
Mm,
That's all it takes.
wow. So let's talk about like what are those blocks? What is it that keeps people sort of in those downward spirals and what
Oh,
is yeah, like how do we reach out and like how do I do something different?
that's a great that's a great question. I think some of it is old programming,
Yeah.
beliefs. We don't believe we're worthy, deserving. We don't believe good things can happen to us. Sometimes, like me, I was stuck in a negative cycle, I think, from birth until in my 50s or something. But we tend to, have bad things happen. It's the Murphy's Law thing. Every time things are bad, they get worse. And you just kind of stay in that depressed, angry space. And so, old beliefs, mindset are huge. Also, a lot of people I don't think they know how. It's like,
Mhm.
how in the world can I change things around? It can't be that easy. And
Mhm.
so for me, it took a lot of, smacks up against the head by the universe, a couple of them, to say, wake up, I'm right here. All
Yeah.
you need to do is talk to me. And again, opening up your intuition is another huge one as well. But
Yeah.
I think it's really the mindset, because look at Oprah, look at all the people that were, raised in poverty and things were horrible, and they've gone on to do miraculous things. That didn't happen just by them saying, woe is me. You know,
Right.
they took
Right.
control of their life. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
I
I
find
guess.
that a lot, sometimes we have our, in fact, tonight, for those of you who are members of the What If Up Club, tonight is our monthly members mastermind. And inevitably, I will have people who say, I almost didn't come. It's been a long
Mhm.
day and I'm just feeling tight. Like there's just like that chronic fatigue. I'm just spent by the end of the day. I don't know if I want to show up for one more thing. And then it's really cool to see, like at the end, everyone is like, I'm so glad I came, to see that the shift isn't something, it doesn't have to take 6 months or 5 years or a lifetime, that it can be instantaneous. So what are some of your favorite tools for
Well,
craziness turnaround
and
moments.
this happens with you and I. Like, I've had a couple times where I'm like, I didn't really want to go on the call or the meeting or whatever. And then you and I, like, within 5 minutes or less, through the roof.
Right?
Elevate, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
I really would love to share because I was a singer for 40 years and then I did coaching for 8 years and I wasn't happy doing any, well, I loved the singing, but it was just time for me to move on from that. But my life kind of just, I kept following the synchronicities to where it is I'm supposed to be. And so I really am full into being an artist now, which I've been my whole life, but I was kind of a closet artist
Yeah.
and creating a business around it. And that has its own challenges, but I want to talk about creativity, period,
Mhm.
because we're all creative. Every single one of us has a creative seed inside of us. It doesn't matter whether you say, I can't draw. It's not about drawing. Creativity, encompasses so many different things. You can love
Yeah.
to put together flower arrangements. You can, virtually do anything.
Problem
Creativity,
solving, any kind of problem solving
right,
is creative
right.
thinking.
Exactly. Creativity is super important, and so many of us don't use it. The next thing that I think is super important that I learned is managing your energy. We are frequency beings, we're energetic beings, and we have our little antennas up. So whatever we're feeling, emitting, emoting is what we're bringing in and attracting.
Mhm.
And the third thing is celebrating ourselves and our daily wins. We rarely do that. And that is a huge game changer, I think,
Mm.
for me.
I love it, and as I look behind you, I'm seeing your artwork. I'm actually wearing your artwork
I
also.
knew that. I saw that. I was like, that looks like my
Yes,
scarf.
it is, it
I had a whole
is.
bunch of them. I know that. Oh, thank you. I love that.
So one of the things I love about your art, whether it's something that I wear or something that I'm seeing on your wall, is that there's an energy to it. There's
Mhm.
the things that you surround yourself with. You talk about creativity, even just surrounding yourself in an environment. Look at those. Oh my gosh, they're just vibrant and beautiful. So,
Better.
surround yourself with things that make you feel good. That's like
Yeah.
be creative and surround yourself with things that
Color.
inspire that creativity.
Came to the
Color.
call because we're having an ice storm and I had a black sweater on and I sat down and Spirit said, you're talking about energy today. Vibes. The minute I put on my pink top, I was like, oh,
Wow.
yeah, that's,
Yeah.
yeah. I
That's
was
how
in,
I feel when I wear this. I feel like it's springtime. I woke up this morning at 7 below, was what it
oh,
was this morning.
oh my gosh.
So
Honey,
I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna wear a little bit of springtime." It feels really good. And I also just love, I love color. Obviously, you can see I've got, like, bright colors. This is my creative space. The rest of my home doesn't look like this. This is the home office, and it's bright
you're
because this is
slinky. I keep looking at that slinky behind you
the
and I'm
slinky. Yes, my rainbow slinky. That's my spiral. So, yeah, so creativity is a fabulous tool. I love that. And one of the things that we do, obviously, in the What If Up Club is about helping that creative part of the brain activate so that, we can be creative on our own. But what's your experience in bringing creativity to into community or just having a partner that you can be creative with?
well, I love that because I'm part of a community. Trying to build an art business is hard. I mean, even being a musician for 40 years, it's kind of like we always had that mindset that you can't make money doing what you love. Now, you do not have to do this as a business. In fact, I say that when you use your creativity as a business, that throws in a monkey wrench because then you're not doing it just for fun. So
Right.
if you're just starting, you know, I journal. I don't journal a lot because I have carpal tunnel. So I do more of the what if upping. I do more of the spoken, elevation of my energy. I think basically you need to stop having a conversation around whether you're creative or not.
Mm,
Whatever it is that you love to do that you can sit and do for hours, like when you were a kid and you played in the sandbox or you drew or whatever you did, is what you get to focus on. And as adults, we become stuffy adults. We forget to play. We forget
mhm.
to do things that bring us joy, and we're stuck in the, oh God, I don't have enough money, whatever it is. And so I think again, we're very undisciplined people for the most part, me included.
Yes.
So I think that if you can even take baby steps,
Mhm.
explore. I mean, there are people that I'm talking to that don't draw at all, and they're starting to just doodle, just scribble.
Doodle. Yes. Oh, we've got,
Just
like, our entire, like,
markers.
doodle product line.
Yes. I mean, I even went out and got like those grape, those markers that smell like fruits and stuff, kids markers, and
Yes.
just start drawing hearts and stuff like that. Anything that gets you out of your head,
Yeah.
just into and also for me, because I'm very spiritual, it's my connection source. It
Yeah.
opens you up. So that's a huge one. Yeah. So I mean, just do it. Just do something to get you moving in that direction. And you may find that you want to get even more creative and there's something you can do.
That I love that. And for those of you watching us live, or even if you're watching the recording of this, in the comments, share what do you do? What's your creative outlet? Because it can be doodling. I'll show you my little doodle wall. Let's see, this is here's the behind the scenes. There's the doodle wall. There's my doodles.
Yep. I love.
So, like intentional doodling. So I keep
You
mine in
can
front of me.
cook. You can be a creative cook. You can, develop
Yeah.
games online. I mean, there's so many things you can do.
My daughter loves to be outdoors, so she made an outdoor nature playground. She
I
brings,
love that.
wood and sticks and rope
That's such
and
a great way to connect and just
so there's so many ways your creativity can express, and sometimes it's just, like, what's the next problem that I can solve,
right.
and,
We're under so much stress with the last couple of years. I mean, everybody's holding the stress, and so
Yeah.
if we don't get rid of the stress, that can move into disease and all kinds of things. So it's
Right.
imperative for our health to
Yeah.
do stuff.
Yeah, so for those of you who are new to what is this what if up thing? So one of the things that we do, this is through the What If Up Club, and it's a process of identifying what you want and then asking the question what if to get creative and find possibilities. So if you're feeling like this creativity piece is like, oh, I'm not creative, that's not my thing. My brain doesn't go there. Join our community and just say, "Hey, I need some help with this," and we will what if up with you until the juices start running. Because you're right, everybody's got this.
And it
Everybody
doesn't
has
take long with what if upping. Let me tell you. I
yeah.
mean, it through the roof in about 30 seconds.
Yes. So you talked about, creativity, so do something creative, great way to turn things around, just, like, take a break, do something creative. 2, you talk about managing your energy.
Mhm.
So talk more about that. What does that mean in terms of
Well,
managing your energy?
chi is energy. We're just energy. We literally are. When I do my chi, I see like a core, um, just an energy, a core energy, like I don't even know what the word is. It just goes up and through, runs up and through, up and down through my body, and then up into the universe, whatever. So we are energy, and it's kind of like didn't they say, I can't remember which movie it was, but if you look at your arm under a microscope, right, it's basically there's nothing there. It's not your arm. It's just energy. So you know, you don't have to do qigong. I do a form of qigong. It's called spring force qigong. That it still takes discipline and practice, but it's an easier version of it.
Mhm.
And I could not believe when I started doing it how out of balance I was, and how I started to cry when I started to align and balance, and how much my health improved. As a matter of fact, I recently came back to it because I need it. Everybody needs it, and so we really need to do something to vibrate. It's kind of like if you sit there and, laughing is a good way to do it as well, or, watch a funny movie. But sometimes when you're really in the pits of things, it's really hard to move out of that space.
Mhm.
And so we can do little things to move ourselves higher, elevate our energy higher. But if we're really angry or depressed, I don't know if you're familiar with Abraham Hicks, but they have a scale, right? So you could be angry, but if you move up to depression, it sounds bad, but you may be moving up the scale to feeling better.
Yeah.
So um, it's just super important. I could go into it all day long, and there's so many things that. Can I give some tips of how we can do that?
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. And as you're watching, for those of you watching, again, welcome. And if you've got some ideas, like what do you do to manage your energy? So share your
Yeah,
tips and comments as
I
well.
mean,
We'd
there's
love
so
to
many
hear from
things
you.
we can do, and it's a fascinating subject. It really is.
Yeah.
Of course, what if upping? That's
Yes, what if upping is a great way to do that. For me,
create.
the what if upping, the piece about what if upping that really ties into this is so there's the idea piece, the imagination piece, which is the creativity piece, but this is really the wisdom piece of it for me. It's the mindfulness and being able to be aware that, it's like, okay, my energy's low. I'm feeling like I don't want to do anything, but I also want to have more energy. And I know that if I'm want more energy, like what if I get
Yes.
up and do something? What if I take a walk? What if I take a breath?
I love that because it is a choice. You can sit and stew and sit around and eat chocolate bonbons all day and get sick if you want to. I mean, there's a point where you either want to feel better or you don't. So it is a choice. Nobody can force you to do it, but you will not believe how much better you'll feel. So what if upping is amazing. Creating, as we already spoke about, doing things like focusing on the good,
Mhm.
laughing, jumping up and down to manage your energy. Even if you just, move around and get your lymph flowing and jump up and down, that moves your chi around, it moves your energy around. Literally, it's just a matter of making a choice to do something, anything, to get out of the space you were in, to get into a better space. And the more you do it, the better you feel. But
Yeah.
again, I say you should do it something daily.
I
Even
love that. And I
right.
also love it when there's a trigger, because I find sometimes, like, something happens and I'm like, "Ah!" And it's not the energy I wanna be in, it's not productive energy, but it's so real,
Yeah.
it's like it's when that energy is just kinda coursing through my body, like, just jumping or shaking or, moving around a little bit with the intention of, "Get this energy out so that I can be
Yes.
grounded and present
Or
again."
even listening to music. When I had Lyme
Yeah.
disease and I was dying the first year, I would get up as sick as I was and I would put on Jason Mraz because he has this cute, lovely, fun, lovey energy. And just hearing it, I'd move around just to try to get myself out of a space of fear.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to get really sick and fall apart. As a matter of fact, if you do this, you probably won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so
Yeah.
many.
Well, and some great ideas. So thank you all for sharing, going for a walk, getting outside, all really fabulous ways to quickly, easily just change your energy, like managing your energy by being at choice. Like you said, I call them destiny points. It's like when you decide, okay, I can sit here and be angry or frustrated or depressed or and I know depression, when I'm talking depressed, I'm like just having a bad day, not clinical depression, but
Right.
when you're feeling down, you can choose like, okay, do I want to keep feeling this way? What do I need to do to care for myself, to shift my energy? And that there are lots of things that we can do
Yeah.
to create that transformation. So you also talk about something that I totally love, which is celebrating your daily wins. So how do you do this? What does that mean to you?
Well, I really started to get into daily wins because I've been coaching with people for the last probably 8 to 10 years. And we all have a habit of looking at how bad it is. Our lives are so bad and there's nothing that happens good for us. And we are like, the universe must hate us because nothing good ever happens. And I get like, when we talk about getting into a state of gratitude, sometimes that's hard when you first start because you don't really feel grateful. But for me, I started that way. And then the more I just said it, it started to kick in. But it's a way for us again to get out of our heads, out of our woe is me, how bad it is. And it keeps us aligned. It elevates our vibrations. And even like people say sometimes, well, I didn't have a win today. Yes, you did. Look
That's
back
right.
through your day, just look at one thing. You got the house vacuumed. I mean, that sounds really stupid, but it's still a win. You did it. You got it off your list. Check
Yeah.
mark, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really important because we need to start honoring ourselves, respecting ourselves, acknowledging what it is that we do, and acknowledging the good that happens and comes to us.
Sometimes the win is just simply that you took the time to set aside to decide what your win was for the day. At the end
Exactly.
of the day, I'm still gonna sit down and find something that's a win.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so we love to do this in our What If Up community for those of you who are members, and if you're not, it's free. Sign up, whatifup.org. It's a great place to connect and to be with creative, conscious creators, conscious co-creators, because we create with you. One of the things that we do as part of our culture is we share hashtag wins. So
Mhm.
anytime you want to pop in and just like, okay, here's a hashtag win that I want to celebrate. We love celebrating those wins. And in fact, whenever we have a mastermind like we have this evening, we always kick it off with, what are your wins from last time? What I love about wins is many, many things. First of all, it has us focus on what's good, which sometimes when I just do like check-ins with a group, everyone our tendency is to say, oh, well, here's what went wrong this week. Here's what's wrong in the world. And that's the check-in. So when we check in with our wins to get into that habit,
Yeah.
because what you focus on, we're creating neural networks of, what am I going to focus on? Am I going to focus on what's wrong in the world, or am I going to focus on what my win is today? So I love wins as a way of focusing. In fact, I even have in the planner, I just have products everywhere today. We just had a training, so I've got everything at my fingertips.
Love it.
But at the end of every day, these are my wins for the day, and to journal, and sometimes I have to dig a little bit. Like, okay, this was like normal day. What happened that's a win? It's like, oh, well, I got to have a normal day, you know?
Exactly. I love
So
that.
grateful for that.
Important.
So great. And if you're as you're watching, if you have wins you want to share and things you want to celebrate, pop them in the comments. Put a hashtag win in front of it because we love celebrating together. It's the energy of, I love how you say it's an acknowledgement of yourself. When you share your wins, it opens you to receive the acknowledgement of others, and that's really powerful too.
Yes.
So 3 really great tips. So do something creative, manage your energy, celebrate your wins. And what's the result for you? Like, what do you notice when you're actually doing this as an intentional discipline?
Well, first of all, I feel better. I mean, like I said, I don't stay in the space of negativity anymore. Not that I don't go there every once in a while, because I do. Because we all go to the past, or things happen, or we're worried about our kids or whatever. And I always
Mhm.
say, oh, the more I worry, I send that worry out. Worry attracts bad things, and
Right.
so I try to stop myself. So I think it's really helped me not only feel better in my physical body, and elevate my emotions, but it also um, it's gotten me into a discipline, like, of catching myself when I'm really down in the dumps. And I can choose to stay there, and I have done that for a day or two, but I used to stay in the dumps for weeks at a time. And so it's really it's also given me hope in situations that were really dismal. It's helped me attract prosperity into my life. I think that when you do these things, again, because life is really about is about intuition, connecting with spirit, following the synchronicities. That's what my book was about. And that's how we live our lives. And each step that you take to improve, to connect with source, to feel better, opens you up to your awareness, opens you up to where the divine wants you to go next. And you want to take those steps. I mean, that's what led me to finally, after 62 years, to start doing my art on a bigger scale and connecting to it. So, it really does lead you in a better direction. It attracts things to you that are good for you. It's a tool. It's an amazing tool. When you get down in the dumps, you start appreciating other people. You start living in a space of gratitude. So, I mean, it goes on and on.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm
I
gonna take a sip
I
of tea.
love that. So I want to thank you so much for sharing. So here's what we do in the What If Up Club. If we you wanna can we play a little bit, Lisa, just like to make it
Or
experiential?
yeah.
So this just posted in the comments when I finished my screenplay. So first of all, I got my celebratory pom-pom that is always
Oh,
close by.
okay.
There we go. So congratulations. And then what we like to do in the community is when you share your wins, we throw some what ifs at it. So what if your screenplay is a huge hit? What if it gets scooped up and all of your favorite actors, performers end up taking
Oh,
on your lead roles?
oh my gosh.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes, it would be. And what if you go on to make other things, because this opens you up to more ideas? And what if you just like, you get on this roll, and, like, I love what you said, Mindy, about what if somebody picks it up and it becomes this huge success? And what I mean, just oh my gosh, there's so many possibilities for
What
this.
if it lets you step into the identity of I'm a screenplay writer? So what if you really get to own that? And what if it puts you into circles with creative people that have the resources that can plug you in to whatever you want to do with it? And I'm getting yes, yes, yes.
And what
I'm
if
on
you're
it.
able to, like, help other people do it? Like, what if you're able to share your experiences? And just sometimes when you're doing the what if ups, I just want to share with people, it comes to you slowly, and sometimes it comes to you quickly. But
Yeah.
don't stay in the space of where I just went, which was, what am I going to say next? Go with it. Let it come through.
Let it
And
flow.
that happened. That happened.
And
Yeah.
this is what happens. You are making me so excited. So that's how it works is, whether it's sharing the challenge or sharing the dream or sharing the win, when we
Yes.
come together in community, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, that win, I can see that leading to all kinds of possibilities.
Yes.
And that
That's the
shifts our
thing. The
energy.
possibilities are endless. They're
Yeah,
endless.
they
You
really
know,
are.
bring them in. I love
So
that. I'm so
this
excited for
comment
you.
as
Gosh.
well, in the dumps for a year straight now, just listening to uplifting ideas helps.
Awesome.
Oh, yes. So should we play the what if game with this for a little bit?
Yeah.
Um, so what if
I'm just
this
waking up. Let's do it.
yeah, what if just sharing that and getting it out and, like, out of your body and just saying, "Okay, here's where I've been." What if that, the courage to do that and the willingness to do that, what if that releases some
Yeah.
of the dumpy feelings? And what if this is a moment? What if this is a turning point moment? And what if you lean in and anytime you find yourself drifting back down into the dumps, you reach out and know that there are people here that can support you in moving forward.
Yeah, and what if you started doing it and it became super easy and it was just part of your, routine every day, that you just started having so much fun with it that you started doing it all the time, and you were high as a kite, and all these ideas would start coming to you and you'd start feeling alive and in love with life and in gratitude, and just because that's what really changes everything.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
what if it's totally possible? So, Lisa, this has been so much fun. I have some announcements for our community. So we have a challenge every week that's tied to our What If Wednesday conversation. Last week we had Morris Sims on. Morris is a sales consultant and a trainer. He's has a podcast called The Business of Sales. And our challenge from our chat with Morris was we called it the Grow Healthy Challenge, which was grow healthy goal setting. So setting goals that will help you grow in a healthy way instead of setting goals that are overwhelming and toxic. So we have 1 hour left on that challenge. Sarah Bird in the lead. So congrats, Sarah. There's still time to get in there and possibly win this week's prize, which is a half-hour coaching consulting call with Morris Sims. So that's going to be awesome, especially those of you that are entrepreneurial. He can help you next level what you're doing. Like I said, tonight, this evening is our monthly member mastermind, and it is free. So joining free, like opportunities. Like if you're thinking, how do I move forward? What if you join today? Whatifup.org, and then pop into our mastermind tonight. We play this game. This is the game we play, and it will leave you, I guarantee you, feeling better than when you walked in the door. And then next announcement is this Saturday. This is exciting. So, Lisa, I know you've been sort of seeing everything as it's blossoming and unfolding. So we have our What If Circles. What If Circles, they are groups that meet locally. And if you're interested in starting one of these little think tanks, Lisa is in mine. I mean, we what if up together all the time. We circle up and share ideas. So if you would like to start something like that, this Saturday is our next training, so you can learn how to get a group going locally. So that brings us to this week's challenge. So, as we're talking about mindset hacks that will lift your vibe and raise your energy, the challenge this week, here's what I'm thinking, Lisa, see what you think about this, is to do something, take a picture, like what is it that you do to lift your energy to raise your vibe? And take a photo of it, post it in our challenge. Does that sound fun?
Yeah.
So it could be your art, it could be a walk in nature, it could be the music, it could be you dancing, it could be you cooking, it could be anything. Share it as part of our challenge this week. And the winner, it's a 7-day challenge. Winner is going to receive, drum roll, so exciting.
Either one of these prints.
Oh
They
my gosh,
probably could have their choice. There's this
so
one,
gorgeous.
got a lot of hearts. This one, or you can have a 6x6. I have lots of these, but they're
Oh,
little.
I love them. I love them. And talk about your art, because your art is intentional in terms of lifting vibration and frequency. And I mean, that's part of what you do through your art.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that I didn't start it out that way. I mean, it was kind of like I was just doing it, and people would say, "Oh my gosh, I got your painting," and like a settlement came in after 10 years, like after I hung it on the wall, and I realized people were saying that every time they received it, they just felt really good, and so I just assumed that I was putting my intentions in way back when, and then I started to be more intentional. And
Mhm.
so I put in intentions, I put in words, like this one has love on it. I have different words on it. And then I also infuse each of the paintings with high frequencies. I have a device that I use. So I kind of bring in the troops, and I just, because when you put stuff on the wall, you want it to uplift you, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Thanks for
So thank you so much for offering that amazing prize. It makes me want to take on the challenge and like compete with everybody. I'm not going to do it, but I want to. I get to wear a little Lisa Winston
asking.
artwork. So if people want to learn more about you and your art, or find out other things that you create, where should they go to learn more?
Well, be aware, I'm working with a coach this year, one-on-one, to move my business more into alignment. So my old website, which I'm not really doing much with, but you can go in and read about me, is art.lisaawinston.com. art.lisaawinston.com. You can find me on Instagram at Lisa A. Winston, Facebook, Lisa Winston. I have a business page and a personal page, but I post all of my artwork there. And throughout the year, I will be getting more things aligned so people can shop and,
Love it.
Get what they want. So.
Love it. Well, thank you for being part of our community. Thank you for all that you give to our community. Lisa is a member of our board and a frequent mentor for me, an advisor for me. So I'm so grateful for all the energy that you have brought into what we're
and
creating
ditto,
together.
girl. Right back to
So
you.
we love to end with the what if game. So if we were to take the what if up process and kind of play with this idea of what if this week is the week that you turn things around? What if any of that in the dumps types of energy, like what if today there's a shift that you can feel? And what if you remember that you have the capacity to create that shift at any moment?
And what if ideas start to come to you that you were not even open to before? All of a sudden things start popping in, which light you up, and your body starts feeling better, and what if you're able to act on some of these things, and even just little things, but you know that you're moving in the right direction? How good would that feel?
Yes. What if all those little baby steps are leading you to transformational change that feels so good? So thank you, Lisa. Thank you all for joining. Thanks for being here for What If Wednesday. Look forward to seeing you next week. Take on the challenge and feel good. And we'll see you soon. Thanks.